What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So I want to go ahead and continue with players who were known for being either prolific rebounders, maybe based upon longevity, or were just great overall dominant rebounders on a game-by-game basis. And I want to talk about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because he's a curious case when it comes to this because, you know, the first half of his career, Kareem was a dominant rebounder, all right? Pretty dominant. I believe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar led the league in rebounding once. I can't remember exactly what year it is off the top of my head, but it was sometime in the 70s. One season he led the league in rebounding. I think it was like a 16.9 average or 16 point something average or something like that. So at the beginning of his career, he was a dominant rebounder. As a matter of fact, I believe from 1969 to 1980, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's career averages were something like 28 points and 14 rebounds per game. All right. I don't know how many blocks per game he would have averaged because the first several years of his career, they weren't counting blocks, but it's pretty much a given that Kareem probably blocked over 4,000 shots in his career. But he's credited with at least 3,000, but it didn't count blocks from 1969 when Kareem first started to 1973. All right. So that's 4 years. But anyway, in the second half of Kareem's career, let's say the Magic Johnson era, from 80 to 89, his rebounds began to plummet. And part of that was, even though Kareem could be and handle his own with rebounding, he was more of a finesse player, right? First of all, he wasn't the biggest guy. And, you know, you started having more, like, bigger, stronger players, and Kareem wasn't getting any younger. So what you started seeing was a collection of guys on the team whose roles it were to help out with rebounding. I think after 79 and 80, if I'm not mistaken, I think after the 79-80 season, which was the last year Kareem won an MVP award, I think that's the last year he ever averaged double-digit rebounding. I think that was the last year. Afterwards, it dropped down from 10 to 9 to 8.5, and like that, 7. In the last few years, 6 and 5 or so. You had guys like on the team that could rebound. Give you an example. Even though he wasn't much of a player, Mitch Kupchak, he was a solid rebounder, all right, averaging 7, 8, 9 boards a game during his career. Then you had Kurt Rambis. He was a hard-nosed guy. He could get you rebounds. Magic Johnson is one of the most prolific rebounding point guards ever, 6'8". He triple-double machine. He could get rebounds. Over the years, Michael Thompson, usually at the power forward position. AC Green's another guy that could get you, 8, 9 rebounds per game. They didn't have Dennis Robbins, but they had guys who primary job at the power forward position was to clean up the boards. That was their job. That took pressure off Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to worry about that rebounding. Although he did get defensive boards, but he wasn't working as hard getting rebounds as other guys. His main job in the second half of his career was to focus on scoring. Okay? And that preserved Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to be able to play for what was at one time an NBA record, 20 seasons. And that's still remarkable for a center, to play that long in the NBA. For his career, Kareem had, I believe, over 17,000 career rebounds. And as I said, I believe he led the league in rebounding once. And during his career, he played in 1,560 regular season games, and Kareem had 137 games of 20 rebounds or more. The vast majority of those came before, I believe, the 75-76 season. And the last game I think he had of 20 rebounds came, it might have been the 81-82 season. And after that, he did not have another game with 20 rebounds for the rest of his career. As I said, that was something he didn't focus on as much. And he often got criticized for that. Wilt Chamberlain's one of them. They said he wasn't a great rebounder. He was never a great offensive rebounder. It takes a lot of... It's a different thing battling in the trenches for an offensive rebound. But Kareem was still a really good rebounder, okay? Just wasn't on the level of, say, Wilt, Bill Russell, guys like that. Even Barkley. But he was a good rebounder. But tell me what you guys think.